Welcome back to Gordy's Gasbags. We're ticking along nicely here. I think we're up to about episode 7, courtesy Corona's moved to the left-hand side today. And absolutely, actually, I know a lot of you out there will be thrilled with this interview because probably this person's been the most requested person in all of the comments that I've had so far. Folks, Carissa Tombs, oh my God, did you realise you're the most important person to interview?
No, never. No, did not ever cross my mind. Carissa, who? Like what, 3 years ago?
Well, let's just get that right. I mean, we've known you as Toms for quite a while, but for those that may not have known that you got married and had a life after netball, you were Delwood prior to that. You were known through your netball day as Carissa Delwood.
That's it. I think I only had maybe 2-3 years as Toms.
Yes, correct. And so let's, first and foremost, I have to say of everyone that I have interviewed so far, your backdrop right there with the plant is actually, I feel like you've set this up perfectly.
Did you like that?
Yeah. I think it's great. We might change it.
Better than the background that I had when I first came onto this screen.
We might get to that later. I think we might be able to show people that a bit later. The first question I have for you, you finished your career on 91 caps.
90, yeah. Do you know what? There's some say 94, some say 91, some say 96. So give or take. Okay. So my question remains the same. Are you a bit annoyed with yourself that you didn't hang on for a few more and play 100? No, I'm not. I have been asked that question a lot, but it was funny. Like when I first made the Australian team, when I just turned 18, and I set myself a goal right back then that I wanted to play in 3 world tournaments, and that's just how it panned out. And to be honest, I couldn't have written a better script. I was so fortunate to have 3 winning world tournaments. And that last world tournament where we were down by 6 against New Zealand, and apparently the New Zealanders went out and started printing t-shirts that they were the champions and all of that. No one comes back from 6 goals down in the last quarter of a world tournament final. And we did it.
Yes.
I was so fortunate to achieve all my goals, and there was always a balance. I always maintained a balance throughout my whole career. So I felt like it was an easy progression to the next stage in my life.
You know, it's really interesting you say that because, you know, some of the girls that I commentate with now in terms of Liz Ellis, Kath Cox and Sherelle McMahon formerly, and we did this show, The Centurions, and we spoke in the show about what an absolute privilege it is if you get the chance to finish your career on your own terms. And we realised in having that discussion that very, very few of you get to do that. So that, in fairness, when I hear your story, that's an absolute blessing for you.
Yeah. Honestly, I have no regrets, and I'm more than happy to have walked away with a sport that I loved and was such a big part of my life. But, you know, it was a fairy tale ending for me. And as you say, not many athletes get to achieve that. So, yeah, no, it was good.
Did you, like, because I think most people that would have remembered you playing, I mean, you were like the athletic machine. Like, I reckon, and I don't know your background specifically, but did you do other sports? Like, my gut tells me you probably could have popped Carissa Delwood in just about any sport and you probably would have nailed it.
I had a little crack at most sports, yeah. I was probably... When I went down the institute, it was a crossroads where I had to sort of choose as to what sport I would pursue. And you know, I loved them all equally, but did have a bit of a soft spot for netball. And when I was at the Institute of Sport, to just have a little look around, and at that point I was still only 15. And I just said to Mum and Dad, oh, I have to do this. I loved everything about it. I loved the environment, all the athletes, all like-minded people. and I was like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. I'm going down that path. So, yeah, I had a dabble in lots of sports, mainly land sports, not much of a water sport.
Yeah.
But, yeah, anyway, so that's the path I took.
Hey, am I right in saying at the time you were the youngest ever to represent Australia, weren't you?
Yeah, I think I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that because I was at Canberra in, what year did you leave the AIS?
Would it be eight?
Yeah, so you played 89 was your debut game. So 88 or 87?
Something like that, yeah.
Right, well, we'll go halfway through both. So 89, so I remember I turned up as a youngster in Canberra, 89, and I was just like you were my guru, like you and Shelley O'Donnell at the time. And we used to go up we used to travel up to Sydney on the bus and we'd stay and we'd watch you guys play. But I remember at the time it was a really specific bit of information that sat in my head that, you know, you were the youngest at that time ever to represent Australia. It's like 18. It was extraordinary.
Yeah, it's all about being in the right spot at the right time, isn't it? Like I actually had the opportunity. Marcia Ella was retiring, and basically I was the next cab off the rank. So it was sink or swim. And I do remember my first test, and I was on the bench, and Norma Shakespeare said to me, go and warm up. And I'm like, oh, no. Much happier. Yeah, much happier on the bench. Was not wanting to get on the court at all, which probably shouldn't admit that. But got on there and wasn't particularly good. But thankfully things looked up from then on.
Who in that team at the time, who took you under their wing?
No, it's none of them. Oh, it's all dog eat dog, isn't it? No, they were all good because I think I was so much younger and I had that connection already with the New South Wales girls because I'd been playing 21s, and I think I went 21s to Opens. No, I went 19s to Opens. I think I missed 21s. I had a year with the Opens, so I sort of knew them. I'd play with them a little bit, trained with them. So yeah, they were good.
Who did you room with mostly during your Aussie days? Like, I assume you would have rotated around a bit, but there would have been someone you bumped up with a bit more than the others?
Yeah, we did rotate quite a lot. There was, you know what, to be honest, it was no one in particular. I remember I was told one time I wasn't allowed to warm up with Simone McInnes because he may have mucked around too much, so which is terrible to say.
These stories, sorry, but I just laugh because these stories, they just don't surprise me.
You're not supposed to say that. You go, really? Yeah. Yeah. So, no, wise, we rotated. So there was no one in particular. And I remember Shelley saying when she was having a chat to you, like there was the girls that would go to bed earlier, the girls that would sleep in longer, all of that. So I guess they tried to, as best they could, match like with like. Shelley was up to all hours and then would sleep as much as she could. So yeah, she was. It was like, oh, I don't want to be up till midnight, really. So yeah, it was a bit rotated mostly.
Yeah, not much has changed with Shell as she's left the netball,
no,
has it?
Nothing has changed with Shell.
Hey, we talked. We've spoken to a few goalers through this GORDYS GASBAGS. There, and it's not to say that our modern day game doesn't have some extraordinary players, but I reckon you came through an era with such a depth of unbelievable goalers.
Yeah.
The list Nick Jack was talking, and Nat Avellino mentioned the other day. For you, who did you love coming through the court as a centre player and looking down and going, boom, gotcha?
Do you know what? I cannot pick because I loved playing with all of them. I don't think I would be suited to today's game, if I'm honest, because the lob wasn't my favourite thing. So
actually, funnily enough, I had this thought in my head last night because I do think at ungodly hours. Simone talked about in her episode about, and Nick did as well, about the game, and Shelley, all being, the long arm and, the big shoulder.
Yep.
But you were a chest passer, weren't you?
Oh, a little bit of a chest passer, yeah. Well, more, it's a little bit from the hip.
Yes.
So
yes.
completely what you tell everyone not to do. I was, thanks for bringing that up, Gordy, yeah.
Well, it moves into the reason why you were such a shit lobber.
That is a very good point, because you can't throw a lob from here.
Very true, my friend, yes.
I'd give it to one of the wing attacks and they can throw the lob in. Not to me. Would not survive today.
No, it's a different game. Who impresses you in the modern day game?
Do you know what? I have had a massive stint away from netball.
Yeah.
So only just starting to come back and watch and realise who's who and what's happening. I do like Carla Pretorius. She doesn't have the height, but she's her agility and the way she reads the game and those turnovers, I think, are phenomenal.
Yeah, she's a hunter, isn't she?
Yeah. So I'm impressed with her. And, I have to say the Giants, don't I?
Well, of course. Yeah, we'll go through that in a second. A lot of the girls have, as you said, you've had a stint away from the sport. Some of the girls have done that, or someone like Nick Cusack who's been involved, Shelley in some involvement. For you, it was the under-12s, wasn't it? You've been coaching the under-12s?
Yeah. And you know what, Gordy, this was going to be my year, 13As. We were going to take out the grand final this year, and I'm a bit disappointed that we're not going to get that opportunity.
Yeah, I'm devastated for you. What I want to do is I want to reassure you, though, that missing one moment in your coaching career doesn't stunt your growth, champ. So hang in there.
Bigger and better things moving forward.
Yeah, I feel that for you. Yeah. And I'm really glad that you set the bar exceptionally high for yourself coming back into the game.
I've had them for a couple. I was actually going to retire, but we didn't get the grand final, so I have to. You have to end with a fairy tale, don't you?
Well, yes, you do. Hey, and tell me, in terms of like the coaching that you're doing, and I don't want to diss anybody out in our netball world, because at the end of the day, it is the grassroots netball that, we need to get those elite athletes at the top. What is it that you love most about under 12s or under 13s in coaching? What is it that you can't stand?
Oh, God, wow. There's a lot that annoys me about them, but in the sense, they're sponges. So they actually listen to you, and there's so much growth at that age, I think. And they're just sort of starting with the rep program, so they're really keen and they want to improve. Talk to me in a couple of years when they start finding boyfriends and things start to become a distraction, and then it might change. But at this point in time, they're so eager to learn.
And have you set a pathway for your growth, Carissa, in this department?
Coaching or learning?
All the above. Coaching. Is this as good as it gets?
I've had a couple of little stints where I can come in and go out, so it's all care, no responsibility. I don't mind that. That's okay. I think I can go down that path.
Yep, terrific.
But living it every day. Like, who would have thought Simone and Vicky and Nicole? Like, what the hell? No, not in my wildest dreams. But I think those girls are coaching.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because, as I said to Simone, we'd asked the question to Norma about who did she think out of those that she'd coach would be the least likely to, put a hand in the coaching ring, and she answered Simone. And, like Nick, did you ever think? And she was like, nah, like, are you just shocked by it?
Like every day. I'm like, how the hell? I've seen him on TV. I'm just like, no. And Simone, like, she has such respect from her players. I'm just like, what the hell? That is,
And such responsibility.
Responsibility. She's so diligent, though. Like, having conversations with her, and she's so passionate, and not the Simone that I knew back in the day.
No, she certainly has evolved, and as you know, possibly we're hoping that she may put her hand in for a Aussie coach job amongst a few others. So we may see someone like Vicky put her hand in as well. So it'll be interesting.
It would be interesting, absolutely. But we at the Old Moles Netball Club, we had a little meeting, and we nominated Simone to go for that job, and Shelley and I selfishly nominated ourselves as the wellbeing coaches. So I think Australian netball will be in good hands if that's the way forward.
I think, yeah, it'd be exciting. Matt, what would happen, just hypothetically, if Simone got the job and your phone rang and she said, come in as a specialist centre court coach?
Oh, well, we'd be doing a lot of clearing, wouldn't we?
And a few chest passes from here?
Chest pass, centre pass, clear. You know, you can go from one end of the court to the other end of the court without touching the ball. Centres these days think they have to take every second pass.
Oh,
doesn't need to.
Music to my ears, Carissa. Music to my ears.
Clear.
Hey, you worked hard pushing out 3 children.
Yeah.
Talk me through each one of them and where they're at.
So all 3 were in netball. The middle one is having a year off because she was concentrating on year 12. She's attempting to go through year 12 in all of this
madness
mess going on. Yeah. The youngest is in the rep pathway, and the eldest has a training partner contract with the Giants.
That's Latika, is that correct?
Yep. So there's Latika as the eldest, Talani being the middle, and Yukisha being the youngest. And so 19, 17, 13. And
when you were coming up with those names, just talk me through that process.
That might have been the next question. So Latika, we thought we had an original, and then we had Foxtel installed many, many years ago, and the Foxtel guy was asking questions, and he said, oh, Latika, my sister and my cousin's name's Latika. And we're like, no, it's our name, same spelling and everything. And then the movie Slumdog Millionaire came out, and the lead in that was Latika, but pronounced Latika.
Right.
So it turns out Latika is a very, very common name in India, which we didn't know. Talani we borrowed from a friend, and Yukisha is completely made up.
I imagine was that you and Tomsy over, well, it wouldn't have been while you were pregnant, but, you know, a couple of brews coming up with some names forecasting the future of your family?
Maybe that. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say?
I'm going to get to that part in just a minute. Hey, how's Tomsy going? For those that are tuning in, he's had a really, really rough couple of years. Are you happy to chat about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it was August 2018. So it's, coming up to nearly 2 years. And he was playing soccer. So he's played, all his life rugby, played for the Wallabies, and playing park soccer with his mates. And, it was in a competition. Filling in and goalie, doesn't normally play goalie. Had the ball, and normally when the goalie has the ball, that's it. It's not like you can't tackle him and get it off him. The guy just kept running straight at him, but Richard was down, and the guy's thigh came. He's gone back, and that was the end of that. So he's now quadriplegic, and from day one has just had the attitude is what it is, and we get on with it.
Yeah,
which is amazing because it's it's a massive change. But I think having a good mindset is, half your battle. And, I put that down to sport and having the discipline and the strong mindset to get you through. So he's incredibly positive, and only recently has he sort of said, I think I'm in maintenance mode now, not recovery. So I think he's slowly realising that this is as far as he'll go within his improvements. And we just got to live with how it is at the moment.
You say that the sporting mindset helps him, but it has a bearing and an effect on everyone directly related to him, that's you and the kids, and for you as well. Surely, I imagine just what you've been through as an athlete as well helps you manage the situation also.
Yeah. So he doesn't get probably much sympathy from any of us because it's like, get up, let's go. Try and pick that up yourself. Or
you know, we encourage him to be as independent as he possibly can, but he is that anyway. He has always been independent. So he gets himself on the bus, he's off here, there, everywhere, and socially has a lot of support and a lot of good mates that are around him and have propped him up if he needs propping. But he's been exceptional. Like, he really has blown me away with his mindset and just, you know, how far he pushes himself.
Yeah, just extraordinary. Send our love, please. I know the netball world, those particularly through New South Wales that would have known him and know you two very well, like, just, you know, it's been an extraordinary story to watch from a distance.
But in this whole scheme of things, like, honestly, there's always someone worse off. Yeah. Like, it puts it in perspective, like when we're at hospital and then he had to move and have nearly 4 months at Royal Rehab at Ryde. And there are far worse stories. And, you know, we're lucky he can still talk, he can still communicate. The biggest battle, I think, for him are his hands. So his hands aren't good and they don't work. So that's the biggest battle, because that's an independent, you know, for him just to be able to make lunch or fill his water bowl up and things like that. So, but yeah, we put it in perspective, and especially with what's on now in the world.
Well, you're right, and that brings me to how is COVID-19 experience for the family? You're going okay?
I personally love it because I have everyone here. They can't escape. They've got no excuses. So it's like it's games day every day for me. I love it. Ask the kids, you may get a different response.
Couple more things before we wrap you up, and you have to get to the best part of this interview experience. But do you suffer vertigo?
No. Why?
Now I'm going to throw you under the bus. Do you remember using that as an excuse to get tickets a little bit closer to the court as opposed to sitting up in the...
Yeah, I do. I forgot. Remember that memory? I forgot. I do have vertigo. Yes.
Oh, you do have vertigo.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you said something else. It's a bad line.
Oh, right. Okay. So that was right at the World Cup when you were sitting sort of right back up in the rafters, and because of the vertigo.
I had a very bad attack that day. That was one of the worst attacks I'd had. So
terrible. on a grand final day. How bad? So you just sort of had to work a way to get moved to the front floor.
What are the chances of it happening that day of all days?
I know. It's extraordinary. As I put that little one in my back pocket for next time.
Funnily enough, I haven't had another attack since that day.
Oh, do you know what? It's amazing what netball can and can't do for you, really, isn't it? So funny. And when you catch up with the old moles and you see Shell and that, it must be some of the best times, because the friendship, and I mean this quite sincerely, and a lot of people have been writing like they're loving this old moles netball club and all you girls from your era. But what great mates you've been able to carry on since leaving the netball court.
Yeah, I think it's invaluable. You make so many good friendships because you are, you know, you're on tour, you're with them 24/7 and you know them inside out. And it's, you know, it's so nice to be able to carry that through because it is a huge part of your life. And I look forward to the Old Moles Netball Club each year. And it was funny, not long after Richard's accident, and the girls were like, you know what, let's maybe have this year off, give you some time. I'm like, nah, no way. This is like when I knew you guys. So, yeah, they all came up to Sydney and champagne in one hand, paintbrush in another because we're trying to get the house to move out. So, you know, it's good fun. And we laugh and laugh. And we laugh about, you know, not the netball, but the moments off the court or the moments that you think are not funny to anyone else that had to be their moments, but you know, they us.
Hey, now listen, we're going to set you up for your karaoke song. Do me a favour and just change your background.
Is it though? Well, should we warn people? Should we explain what it's about? Oh, there we go.
Feel free to explain.
Well, see the things you have to do when you're in lockup. So, see, Richard can't actually escape us. So when we sit him down, how do I get you back, Gordy?
Yeah, that's good. Here we go.
So he has twice a week Zoom drinks, as you do, and they get to choose, a different person gets to choose what the dress up, what the theme is going to be. And Richard chose gender bender, as you do.
As you do. And he's pulled it off absolutely perfectly.
You like it?
Yeah, I think he looks great. Might need to adopt that on more of a regular basis.
See I lose my hand when I move. He's even got what is it? Austin Powers. That's where the costume's from.
Oh, it is damn impressive. The lipstick's the highlight for me, I have to be honest with you. All right.
And
so you're going.
Yeah.
Right. You know that I can't let you leave without finishing this moment. And I know for a fact that you will have taken a microphone in your time with a couple of sherbets under the belt to belt out one of your old time favourites. So what song might that be?
Well, I've never done this before midnight, so you could be singing any. I'm going to go with, what was that song? That Bye Bye Miss American Pie. I feel like everyone knows that, and maybe you can sing along with me.
It does go for 10 minutes, so I'll cut you off when I've had enough, if that's okay. But
I'm going to sing a few lines.
Yeah.
Many years ago, we would have at work birthday cake, and we'd all come in together and we'd all sing happy birthday, and I was banned from that because of my singing. So that's just a little warning that this is not going to go.
Well, Natalie Von Berto wasn't great. Simone gave it her best shot, and it was nothing short of medium quality. So I've got high hopes for you. I think you're going to be okay. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Carissa Tombs with a little bit of American Pie.
All right. Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die.
Woo! This'll be the day that I love it. Well done, Carissa. Terrific stuff. See, before midnight, you sound just as bad.
Thanks, God. I appreciate the support.
Hey, listen, it's been an absolute privilege having a chat, and particularly finishing this off with Tomsy giving me a kiss. I feel very privileged. Hey, all the very best to you. It's been an absolute pleasure. I know people are going to love this because they don't often get to see you. You have been hidden away from the sport for a little while, but you were one of the absolute champions of our former Australian Diamonds days, and what an absolute privilege it was to chat with you. All the very best during COVID, my friend.
Thank you very much, Gordy. Take care.